Hi, good morning students. Welcome to today's English lesson. Today we're going to focus in on how to talk about an event, okay? So let's start. Here we have some pictures. These pictures are focusing on traditions and also typical events that we usually have in Peru. We're going to have, for example, Easter, tradition Inti Raymi, and the Spring Festival. Easter means la Semana Santa. We already know that Easter usually takes place around Perú. Usualmente va a tomar lugar alrededor del Perú, en varias zonas. Each place has its own traditions. Cada lugar va a tener su propia tradición. Si hablamos por el otro lado, tradition Inti Raymi, it in this case takes place in Cusco. This is a religious ceremony. Usually they do this because they have his own god. In this case, what the sun god. Now we have the Spring Festival. It usually takes place in Trujillo in September. In this case, they usually made per day. Usualmente hacen un desfile, un pasacalle. Muy bien. Now, today we're going to focus in on La Tomatina. La Tomatina, it's a typical event that takes place in Spain. This is an Spanish tradition in Buñol, to be more specific. Before to continue, we're going to sing some vocabulary words. For example, we're going to have carnival, celebration, ceremony, costume, cultural, shopkeeper, per day, preparation, spectator, fireworks, contest, and weapon. Okay? Now, if we talk about the shopkeeper, que creo que es una de las palabras un poco más confusas, estaríamos hablando de la persona. We're gonna focus in on the person, la persona que es dueña de este restaurante. Muy bien. También vamos a tener por aquí carnival, que van a ser los carnavales. Per day va a ser un desfile. Muy bien, no lo confundamos con carnival. Per day es desfile. Carnival, un carnaval. Okay, now we're gonna watch a video about La Tomatina before to read.
Entonces ahora está dentro de ser correctos con la gente, pues está todo permitido, ¿no? Y siempre tienes ahí un vecino, ahora ya no tienes el vecino, que dice, este tío cuando llegue a la tomatina le voy a pegar un tomatazo porque me apetece. Y era esa libertad total.
So, okay, let's talk about La Tomatina. As we can see in the video, we can see that this event is about a huge food fight. Es una gran pelea de comida. But they just use tomatoes, right? Okay, what else? We can see that a lot of people take part in this event. We have 22,000 people that they participate and they just throw tomatoes between them. Okay, simplemente se tiran tomates, okay, with each other. entre ellos. Also, something about that is that this event is allowed by the authorities. Está permitido por las autoridades españolas, por supuesto, it is allowed. And also they usually use 6 trucks, utilizan 6 camiones. These trucks drive through the city, and these trucks have tomatoes in this case. Okay, now let's focus in on the reading activity. Vamos a enfocarnos en la lectura. Muy bien, vimos que this could be also a little bit chaotic. This is a chaotic. I consider that it's a little bit dangerous event, but it's the tradition. Okay, so we're gonna listen and also read. Then we're gonna answer these questions. Vamos a responder estas preguntas. Muy bien, vamos a buscar la siguiente información dentro de la lectura. We're gonna look information about the place, the date, last for, es decir, la duración. Preparations. ¿Cuáles son las preparaciones? Preparations before the event, antes del evento. Activities during the event, las actividades que se realizan durante el evento. Activities after the event. Since we have already seen a video, desde que ya hemos visto un video, we have a general idea what is the tomatina about. Ok, ahora vamos a leer un poco más para obtener un poco más de información. Okay, so pay attention.
6. Top skills. For fun. 2. Read. A. Look at the pictures. What do you think people do during La Tomatina? Listen, read, and check your answers.
La Tomatina. Every summer, on the last Wednesday of August, the people of the small Spanish town Buñol have a huge food fight. It's called La Tomatina, and you guessed it, their weapon of choice is the tomato. Days before the tomatoes come out, the town comes to life with parades, fireworks, and street parties. Music plays and people dance while waiting patiently for the real fun to begin. On the morning of the fight, shopkeepers prepare for the event by covering their windows. Lorries filled with over 150,000 tomatoes drive through the streets of Buñol and stop at the main town square, the Plaza del Pueblo, where the food fight takes place. 20,000 residents and tourists go to war with each other from about 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There is only one rule. You must squash the tomato in your hand before you throw it.
Okay, so in this part we have important information. For example, we have the date. When does it event take place? ¿Cuándo este evento va a tomar lugar? We have every summer on the last Wednesday of August. Ok, tenemos la información de cuándo. Ahora, también nos solicitaban información sobre el lugar. Por supuesto que también nos hablan acerca del lugar. Tenemos en esta ocasión the people of the small Spanish town Buñol. Muy bien, solo este pequeño pueblo, este pequeño lugar realiza este evento en Buñol. They have a huge food fight. What else? Muy bien, entonces aquí también tenemos algunos datos sobre la preparación. ¿Qué se hace días antes? Days before, the tomatoes come out. Llegan los tomates. The town comes to live with parades, fireworks, and street parties. Muy bien, básicamente la calle se llena de vida con pasacalles, juegos artificiales y fiestas en medio de la calle. Music plays and people dance while waiting patiently for the real fun to begin. Muy bien. On the morning, ¿qué hacen los dueños de las tiendas, the shopkeepers? They prepare for the event by covering their windows. Muy bien, entonces esta fiesta, por supuesto, causa un gran desastre, por lo tanto, los dueños de estas tiendas tratan de proteger. They covering their windows. Lorries, que hace referencia a los camiones, the trucks, filled with over 150,000 tomatoes. Okay, now, ¿qué otra información podríamos tener? Aquí también tenemos cuánto dura. Where The food fight takes place, 20,000 residents and tourists go to war with each other, from about 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Alrededor de más o menos 2 horas. There is only one rule, hay una regla. You must squash the tomato. Debes aplastar el tomate in your hand before throw it. Debes aplastar el tomate antes de tirarlo. Muy bien. Okay, now let's continue the reading.
When it's all over, everyone cleans themselves up at the showers put in place for the event. Then it's time to help clean up the town square. La Tomatina is great fun for anyone who likes tomatoes or just making a big mess. However, if you're thinking about going and not getting involved, think again. There's no such thing as a spectator at this event.
Okay, so we have when all is over, cuando todo se acaba, everyone cleans themselves up. Todos se tienen que limpiar. After showers, put in place for the event. Then it's time to help clean up town square. Después de todo el desastre, they have to clean up the town. Tienen que limpiar toda la calle, por supuesto, donde se ha realizado el evento. Muy bien. Okay. Now, let's complete the information. We have right here the place. Nos están preguntando sobre el lugar. Let's look for the information. We have it's in Spain, Buñol. Okay, Buñol, Spain. The date, it's in August, right? Last Wednesday of August. Last 4. ¿Cuánto tiempo dura? Who remembers? It's about from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. About 2 hours. Preparations. ¿Cuáles son las preparaciones que se hacen? Ellos mencionan algo, por ejemplo, the shopkeepers. ¿Cómo se preparan? The shopkeepers covering their windows. What else? The lorries are filled full with tomatoes in this case. So, cover their windows. All lorries are filled with over 150 tomatoes. Activities during the event. ¿Cuál es la actividad principal dentro del evento? It's people throw tomatoes with each other. Se tiran tomates. Esa es la actividad principal. Throw tomatoes to each other. Activities after the event. Después de todo el desastre que han ocasionado, ¿qué tienen que hacer? They take a shower. They clean up themselves. Se limpian primero ellos. Then they clean up the town. Tienen que limpiar la calle. Muy bien. Clean themselves and they clean up the town square. Okay. We're gonna make also a listening activity. Vamos a hacer una actividad de listening. En esta ocasión vamos a escuchar un audio. Este evento trata acerca de una competencia de comer. It's an eating competition. You're gonna decide who each speaker is. There is one extra option you don't need to use. Hay una persona a la cual va a ser extra, que no pertenece. Bueno, okay, we're gonna listen, take notes. Okay, here we have, who is Sandra? Competitor, restaurant owner, the waiter, or the spectators? Who is Lawrence? Competitor, restaurant owner, the waiter, spectator? Who is Marcel? Okay, we're gonna find out the information after listening.
3. Listen. A. About an eating competition and decide who is Sandra.
I was visiting a friend who lives in Quebec, and she suggested that we go and watch the tourtière eating competition. I was an egg-eating champion at school, so I decided to go along. Apparently, tourtière is a French-Canadian speciality, and I'm sure a slice tastes delicious. But these guys were eating pie after pie. There's no way I could have done it. I must admit, watching the competition left me feeling a bit sick. I used to love making meat pies, but now I'm thinking about becoming a vegetarian.
Lawrence.
I grew up in Quebec,
and I've been eating tortilla all my life. When a restaurant in my neighborhood started a tortilla eating competition, I just knew it was for me. The first competition was held 9 years ago, and I've entered every year. I've never managed to win, but I came third 3 years in a row. People ask me if I ever feel sick, but a couple of hours after the competition, I'm hungry again. I'm good friends with the guy who owns the restaurant, and he said if I come in the top 3 again this year, I can eat there whenever I want for free. Bearing in mind how much I can eat, that could really cost him.
Marcel.
I started the competition as a bit of fun, really. I wanted to advertise my famous tourtière, which is easily the best in the world. I came up with the recipe many years ago. It's a meat pie that I cook with herbs and gravy and... No, I'm not going to reveal any more. The competition started as a local thing, but it is growing, and soon we will get people traveling from all over the world to compete. I used to take part, but I don't anymore. Last year's winner was on the front page of the national newspaper, and this year we're going to be on local TV. Can you believe it? My restaurant on TV? By the way, did I mention that my tourtière is the best in the world?
Okay, so this event is popular. So let's focus on what Sandra said. She said something that she was looking the event and she could look that the boys were eating pie after pie. That makes feel her a little bit disgusting. So now she considers that maybe she's gonna become vegetarian. So we can say that Sandra is an spectator, right? Let's focus on Lawrence. What Lawrence said, ¿qué es lo que él mencionó? He said that he's in his 10th competition, está en su 10ª competencia. Okay, so we can say that he's a competitor. Marcel says something about her recipe. Nos dice algo acerca de su receta. Aparte de ello, también nos habla de que su restaurante va a aparecer en la tele. Muy bien, entonces we can say that he is the restaurant owner. Okay, now we're gonna complete these sentences using the words from the vocabulary that we have already practiced. We have in this case party, preparation, spectator, cute, fireworks, weapon, shopkeeper, and contest. ¿Correcto? Party. Recordemos que party hacía referencia a desfile, preparation a una preparación, spectator a un espectador, cute, algo lindo, something beautiful, fireworks, fuegos artificiales, weapon, un arma, shopkeeper, el señor de la tienda, el tendero, el bodeguero, podría decir, contest, un concurso. Okay, now let's read. We have my friends and I stood on a park avenue and watched the go by on a park avenue. Nos paramos en una avenida, la avenida del parque. ¿Qué puede pasar? ¿Qué puede pasar en la avenida de un parque? ¿Cuál de estos eventos? Fair day. Correct, good job. Now we have just before the end of the match, I ran onto the pitch and the referee stopped the game. If we're talking about a match, si hablamos acerca de un match, recordemos que es un partido, un juego entre dos equipos. Muy bien, eso es un match. Entonces, usualmente en un partido hay bastantes espectadores. Y a spectator ran onto the pitch. Corrió hacia el campo. The bank robber, el ladrón de banco, dropped his, que pudo haber hecho caer. Fireworks, cute, shopkeeper, his weapon. Hizo caer su arma, and he was leaving the building. It wasn't very dark during the celebration, so we couldn't see no estaba muy oscuro durante la celebración. Por eso no pudimos ver ¿Qué no pudimos ver? We couldn't see the fireworks. Look at little dog over there. If we're talking a dog, si hablamos acerca de un perro, ¿qué adjetivo le podríamos dar a este perro? Look at that cute little dog over there. Careful. Cuidado. For the exam is essential if you want to do well. ¿Qué podría ser esencial para un examen? Preparation. Careful preparation. La preparación muy cuidadosa. Estela entered the beauty, but she didn't win. Si ella no ganó, entonces ¿a dónde entró? She entered the beauty contest. Al concurso de belleza. Beauty contest. Muy bien, como los que usualmente se hacen para buscar a la Miss Mundo, Miss Perú. Ask the how much these biscuits are. Obviously, si estamos preguntando por el precio de unas galletas, aquí la palabra que más encaja dentro de este contexto va a ser shopkeeper. Okay, guys, that's going to be all for today. We're going to continue working the next week. Okay, bye and take care a lot.